Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the It's and Queens podcast, covering events in the borough from October 25th until October 31st. What's another word for October 31st?
All Hallows Eve.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Right?
No, that's 3 words. What's another one word for October 31st?
Halloween, baby.
Halloween. So we're ending on Halloween. We've been stood up by a special guest. So we're not. This is now
multiple
3
times.
weeks in a row.
Multiple times,
without a
yeah.
special. You're stuck with us. You're stuck with the two of us.
Basically, if this show was Tinder, people are swiping left on us all the time.
Unfortunately, so there's no special guest. The last time I had to bring in family members.
That's right. The last one was Mr. Mackay. That's right.
My dad. All right. Anyway, as I mentioned, this week. As I mentioned, this week is heavy on Halloween stuff because of what is coming up.
Sure.
But I think I want to begin talking about something much more important than Halloween.
Hopefully, it's food related.
And it's not Frank Sinatra. Well, it actually has food in the name. Do you know what pickleball is?
Oh yeah, my dad got severely injured playing pickleball.
Did he?
Yeah, he fell face first into something.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he really did. But I do know what it is. It's like it's tennis with paddles.
Yeah, it's I consider it an old Brooklyn game, which is kind of like platform tennis or paddle tennis, but it's the balls are lighter than tennis balls. The court's much smaller.
Smaller, sure, yep.
And you're using like little rackets.
Is it a racket with a netting or is it a hard?
There's a net.
Racket.
That I think there's a netting, which is different from paddleball.
Yes. Okay.
But I remember as a kid, I would hang out, go to the Coney Island boardwalk and bike around. There was a Coney Island Rackets Club.
Oh, okay.
That had outdoor. It was outdoor. You had to pay to get in, and it actually had pickleball clubs.
No kidding.
It had pickleball courts and like a swimming pool and stuff like that.
Wow.
Did you ever see that?
No.
Okay. It's kind of like an old Brooklyn game.
Okay.
But I guess your dad. Where was your dad?
No, my dad was doing it down in Florida in the over 55. But there's a lot of transplanted New Yorkers down there.
Yeah, because I don't know if they play it too many other places around the world. Anyway, the New York City, citywide, of course, pickleball championship is this weekend.
In Queens?
In Queens.
We got him.
Al Order Recreational Center.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's a big get.
They can have the Yankees. Yes. They can have Madison Square Garden.
Enjoy.
They can have the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
We've got the pickleball tournament.
Right.
And anyone can play. It's open.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you get into a tournament. And
we should put a
doubles.
Queens team together.
We really should. I mean, if I were a little bit younger, I'd totally be into it.
If I was a little bit skinnier.
Oh, well. Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
But they have different, men's, women's, mixed, different age groups. And so that, it's kind of fun.
I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Al Order is the recreation center by
in Flushing
the
Meadow, Corona
Home
Park.
Depot. Yep.
So you can go over there. You're right near the indoor swimming pool.
Yeah.
You can play soccer outdoors.
Very hard to get into the swim classes at the swimming pool.
Is it?
Yeah.
You've been trying
trying for years to get Liam into that program.
Really? Because the facility
well, you notice they do
huge.
They do the registration during the week, which is hard for people who work. And there's been a couple of times where I thought it was going to happen on one day, but actually was happening on a different day.
And you can't do it online? You can't register online?
No, it's in person only. Yeah.
That's too bad. Anyway, so now that we've started off with the most important thing of the week, I think it's worth saying that my name is Rob Mackay, and I am the director of the Queens Tourism Council. You, of course.
I must be Chris Donovan.
Chris Donovan. From
I'll tell you the
News.
truth. I know last week we were just testing it out, but I think the introduction was pretty good last week.
Yeah. I think you've stolen my job, my career. You've taken away my career. Anyway, Chris is from the New York Daily News,
I am,
which co-sponsors this podcast.
I do.
And we often actually start talking about what we did in Queens over the weekend.
Yes.
We filmed this on Mondays.
Right.
What did you do in Queens this weekend?
Well, we did two things. We had Liam's, my son's birthday party in...
Seventh birthday party?
Seventh birthday in Fresh Meadows, at his grandmother's house. And then Atlas Park at Laser Bounce, it's called. Laser Bounce in Atlas Park. Really great place to have
at
kids.
Atlas Park in Glendale. We have
That's
a
right.
mall in Glendale, right off Cooper Avenue.
Right.
And what is the laser thing?
So it's Laser Bounce. The party pack or the package that we got, he was able to do a ball castle, like where they shoot balls, like soft balls at each other from cannons.
Oh, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's like.
And then they did a bouncy
From
house.
Cannons?
Yeah, they're like air
You're
cannons.
shooting from cannons?
Air cannons.
Oh, okay.
They
Wow.
did, then bouncy castle was the next thing.
Okay.
Then laser They had a mini bowling alley,
Okay.
and then they had a couple of virtual reality games that they were able to partake in. So the kids love it.
I never. Is that new to shop to the
I
Ellis Park?
don't remember it being there like when I used to go see the movies and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But I mean, I think it's probably there like a year or two now.
Oh, okay.
And it's in the basement, so it's a little bit more challenging to find. But it's a really good facility, and it's very clean, very neat. The staff there was very friendly, very helpful. So I give it Chris Donovan stamp of approval.
5 stars.
5 stars on the Chris's Yelp.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well,
what about yourself?
The biggest Queens thing I probably did was Saturday night. We went to the Thirsty Koala.
Oh yeah, the
Which is the Australian restaurant.
Did you have a
emu?
emu burger?
It's kind of funny that the food was actually kind of standard,
Basic?
like American.
Okay.
Just a little bit. They have a different kind of a tiramisu, and they have they have different ways of dealing with shrimp and.
Did they throw another
hamburgers
shrimp
and
on the
shrimps.
barbie?
Yeah, I didn't have that.
That was a great Australian accent, by the way.
That was a great
That was
Australian.
spot on.
I felt like I was
I felt like
on the
Crocodile
beach
Dundee
in
was in the
Perth
room with
right
us.
there.
Yeah.
But the food was fantastic. The place was crammed, which
Nice.
which is good.
Yeah.
Like going
I
somewhere
have a
like-
lot of good craft beers too, right or no?
They have a pretty good wine list and beer list. The bar is pretty rocking.
Nice.
The food was fantastic. I gained 2 pounds.
You know what? If the bar is a rockin', don't come a knockin'.
Ah.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay. Wow, that's very Australian. That's, but anyway,
Absolutely.
so that was good. If anyone gets a chance,
Thirsty koala.
The joke is, by the way, that koalas never get thirsty.
That's right.
As an Australian guy, I can tell you that they don't need to drink, right?
No,
just the eucalyptus leaves, the juice from the eucalyptus leaves is enough for them,
Now, is that the deal?
and they
where
don't get
the
thirsty, and they don't
eucalyptus
get
leaves-
acne, I guess.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
They have to eat a ton of eucalyptus leaves.
Yeah,
There's
they're
not
eating them all
much-
day. And stuff
Yeah,
like
there's not much protein. Or
There's not.
anything.
Well, have you ever met? Do you know any vegans? Do you have any friends who are vegans that are not eating meat?
I don't associate with vegans.
Okay, well they eat all day because you fill up on chickpeas and rice and beans and stuff like that.
Right.
Nuts. So before we get into the Halloween stuff, kind of an interesting. We have 2 different Grammy winners coming to Queens. One is from Cuba and the other is from Puerto Rico. So they're both from islands right next to them.
Sure.
Both of them are playing in Flushing and sort of right next to each other as well. The stadium's right next to us. Paquito de Rivera. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a Cuban jazz legend.
Okay.
I mean, really. I can't
Top
believe
notch.
he's coming to Flushing Town Hall, and
Nice,
that's a
that's a
hell
good
of a
get.
that's a hell of a get. Yeah, on August 26th.
October 27th.
October 26th.
Right.
Thank you. Yes, they have good fact checkers at the Daily News.
Oh, absolutely. We have to. Yeah.
He's going to be playing with the shapeshifter pianist John DiMartino. And if you like Cuban jazz, do you like Afro-Latin jazz?
Absolutely. The only one I have to reference is that
Mongo Santa Maria?
Buena Vista
Oh,
Social Club.
okay. Well, I think it's more like, do you know who Mongo Santa Maria is? He's
No,
a
I
Puerto
don't.
Rican guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
but that
okay.
doesn't mean he's not incredibly talented.
Okay. Anyway, Paquito de Rivera has won 14 Grammys.
Wow, that is 14 more than me.
Yeah, and he's an NEA, the
National Endowment for the Arts.
Yeah,
Nice.
and then the next night on October 26th, that's at Flushing Town Hall. The next night at Kupferberg Center for the Arts
Right.
at Queens College
This guy I know.
is Gilberto Santa Rosa.
See.
He is a 6-time Grammy winner from Puerto Rico.
Right.
And that's another heck of a get.
That is a really good one. Yeah. I think
that's-
that it was very close to selling out the last time I checked.
Did you check?
Yeah,
I was.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of cool. So you got, but between the pickleball and the Cuban and the Puerto Rican Grammy winners, you got a lot going on that isn't Halloween related.
Right.
But
there's more.
But there's more. Let's go to the Halloween stuff.
Come
shall
on,
we?
let's get it in.
It's scary. It's
The
scary.
kids have been waiting for it.
It's
I mean,
scary.
They
It's
sat
scary,
through
but
the
we have to do
intros.
it.
They sat through
Right.
our,
Right.
jammering.
There is a haunted walking tour of Astoria.
Nice.
I don't know if you know.
In Astoria are haunted.
Well, there are. Well, see, the thing is that Hellgate Bridge, which is right out,
That scared
on the
me just
waters,
saying that.
yeah,
Okay,
with the water between Astoria Park and Randall's Island, they've had so many. Home of the
wreck.
famous Slocum.
That's it.
Yeah,
General
the Slocum
wreck,
General
right?
Slocum. There was a huge ferry that crashed there, got on fire
Uh-huh.
in the early 1900s. It was one of those churches had chartered it for a weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people had to decide between jumping in the water and they didn't know how to swim or burning on the boat.
I'll go swim. Yeah, I'll swim.
Well, I don't know if a lot of them knew how to swim.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know, city kids don't know how to swim.
That's very true.
But you know, people have been dying.
City girls do find out early
Yeah.
how to open doors with a smile.
Really?
That's an Eagles song. Sorry.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There have been other kinds of shipwrecks and other things there.
Yeah. So I guess that part of the story is definitely
Is haunted. So yeah, you're going to walk along the river, and I was going to tell you about all the. And remember, the Hellgate Bridge apparently had a troll that used to eat little kids.
Yep.
And the Hellgate itself, up on top, there's a ghost train.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a haunted house. There was like some kind of a murder that took place in a haunted house in Astoria.
Wow.
So, in honor of Halloween and in honor of all the haunted aspects of Astoria, a guy named Richard Melnick, who you might know, he's from the Greater Astoria Historical Society. Doorman who used to write history books on the side.
Yes.
He's a fascinating guy.
Yeah.
He'll be leading it.
That's cool.
And the thing about it is that it's on October 27th.
Okay.
The thing about it is that you get a 50% discount if you come in a costume.
I like that.
Come as a ghost.
I could do that.
Yeah. I'm going to go as an undercover cop.
Have you?
Think you'll give me the $10 off for that?
I don't think so. Have you chosen your Halloween costume this year?
I haven't. Have you?
No,
well, I think I just did. Undercover cop.
Undercover cop. Okay. I usually try to relate it to something that
That's
Liam's
going
wearing.
on. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's also something kind of big, which is an annual thing at Socrates Sculpture Park, which is also along the water. It's a little bit south.
Less haunted.
Less haunted. It's their Harvest Fest.
Okay.
But they have an annual thing, and it's hilarious because they have a doggy costume contest.
Oh, how cute is that?
So all the artists get together and dress up their dogs, and you can win a prize.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the other thing about it is, they have all the the face painting and all the kids stuff. This year's festival is inspired by Fête Guédé, which is the Haitian festival of the ancestors. So there's going to be a Haitian spiritual service going on.
Okay.
And I think we've talked about her before in this podcast. Do you know Mama Donna, the urban shaman?
Yes, we've spoken about her before. Absolutely.
She's gonna do a blessing of the animals. The way in the Catholic Church, St. Francis blessing of the animals was just a couple of weeks ago. She's gonna do it's the solstice, that kind of stuff. She's very into the whole spirits and everything.
I would hope so.
And she's great.
Yeah.
She is
a lot of energy.
She's a kick in the pants.
There you go.
And then I'm going to tell you about something else, which is called Trunk or Treat.
Okay.
And now that New York City
obviously an elephant, right?
This is obviously an elephant, yes. This is something that began, New York City used to be very dangerous. When you were a kid, when I was a kid, Halloween was dangerous.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
There were people.
So the first 10 years, Halloween was awesome, and then right around when you turned 11, it became violently dangerous.
Yeah.
And you were just avoiding shaving cream and eggs.
Shaving cream. People used to blow out the eggs and put in hair remover hair and throw them at you.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. And people used
what
to
about
put
the
razor
frozen
blades.
eggs?
They put the razor blades
in the apples.
In the apples.
Yeah, man, it was crazy.
That. Yeah.
Wait, did you ever freeze an egg and throw it at you?
No, I never had that. Did that hurt?
That hurts. Yeah, it was like a rock.
Yeah. I remember the shaving cream too, and all the stores would get shaving cream.
Yeah, and then at some point, not soon enough, but in 83, 84, the stores would not sell you shaving cream if you were under 18.
That's right.
And then the kids who were really smart put a pin in the shaving cream and would melt the shaving cream so it would shoot even further.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was crazy how inventive people are to destroy.
Yeah, really. They couldn't do their homework.
No,
they
absolutely
do their
not.
Homework, but they
couldn't figure out a spelling word to save their lives, but they can refigure a.
They could spend 5 hours writing graffiti on a wall.
That's very true.
Anyway, to create a safe space to trick or treat, the Maple Grove Cemetery has something called Trunk or Treat, where people decorate their cars,
right? Okay.
However you
this
want.
Is suburban
they drive
thing too,
into the cemetery, and then they put candy in their trunks, open up their trunks, and the kids
go
walk around.
That is such a great idea. I love it.
Yeah. So Trunk or Treat is on October 27th. You can get candy. You can admire vehicles, properly adorned vehicles. I don't know if there are any haunted vehicles. It is a cemetery.
It is a cemetery.
Yeah. Then there's something at the New York Hall of Science called Dead or Alive,
Okay.
which is basically a scary the science of creepy. You know how they like their science museum. Obviously, they have a lot of makers that do-it-yourself stuff.
Sure.
So it's kind of like it's a science thing dedicated to the creepy stuff.
Okay.
So you learn how to make fake blood.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's a good. You'll learn how to become a zombie, but in so doing so, you'll learn about biological simulations. You'll be able to create real habitats for fake creatures,
Okay.
stuff like that. So that's kind of fun.
That's great.
There's also the Halloween Tinker Festival
Okay.
at the Lewis H. Latimer House Museum. And that they have the Tinker Festival. They have this machine where it's kind of actually it's not unlike what happens at the New York Hall of Science with Makers Fair. They do a lot of activities and stuff that sort of combine art and science and kid stuff, having fun. And so this way, people are going to be making drawings that come alive in the dark. And in so doing, you'll learn about UV lighting, phosphorescence, infrared lights, and stuff like that. And you'll actually make stuff that will glow in the dark. Kind of a fun kiddies thing.
That's great.
Yeah. The other one that it's worth mentioning is 1920s and 30s cartoons from the 1920s and 30s. Did you know that Queens has the what I would call the world's foremost expert on cartoons from the 1920s and 30s?
No, who's
The
this?
technology was so like when you used to do it
It's
with
like a flip book.
It's
Yeah.
like a flip. It's really
Remember the things you used to? There used to be machines.
It's like that.
As a matter of fact, Coney Island had them. You'd put your, put a penny in and just flip them, and it would be a cartoon.
So it's a little bit beyond that, but anyway, there's a guy whose name is Tommy Jose Stoltzfus. Tommy Jose Stoltzfus.
Okay.
He's been there before at the Volker Orth Museum. This is the Volker
Orth.
Orth
Okay.
Historical
What
Museum
day?
in Flushing, October 28th.
Okay.
He's going to show spooky cartoons from the 1920s and 1930s, which
Okay.
is interesting historical value to that.
I hope he vetted them out because some of those cartoons are
But
didn't age well. Let's put it that way.
Along with, before he shows them, he's going to have a little workshop and he's going to teach about flip books.
Ah,
so
that's
everyone
cool.
will be able to make their own flip
I like
books,
that.
which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Now let me go to some non-Halloween things. Going
time.
back, do you know what Steel Magnolias?
The movie?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, the Steel Magnolias, the play, is coming to Queen's Theater. What's the
Oh.
Steel Magnolias, the play about? The movie about?
Movie's about a group of women. I think they work out of a hair salon
In Louisiana?
in Louisiana, and sort of their comings and goings. And then I think one of the young ladies is diagnosed with cancer, and she has a difficult relationship with her mother, and works through that. And
the women it becomes
They all come
obvious that the women
together.
are best friends.
yes,
and-
yes,
okay.
even though they talk about each
Is
other.
there
in
singing in
Thessalon-
the movie?
Not that I
okay.
recall. There was a lot of dialogue.
Well, Steel Magnolias will be playing 3 times this weekend.
And it's a
at the-
musical?
Well, I have this photo, the promo photo. It looks there's 6 women, and it looks like they're singing, but they might just be talking.
They could be, they could be talking. They
Yeah.
could be singing a song in the hair salon or something. Like that.
Yeah. And it's 3 times. They're showing it 3 times at Queen's Theater this weekend. All of them will have American Sign Language, or a couple. One of them will have American Sign Language interpretation, and all of them will have an audience talkback, which is after the play ends, the actresses will come out and the audience.
Oh,
can
that's
ask questions
great. I
about
like
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Steel Magnolias was actually a very popular movie, right?
Yeah. No, I don't know if it won I think somebody won an Oscar out of the performance.
Yeah.
It was Sally Field. It was Julia Roberts. It was
Not Whoopi Goldberg.
no Whoopi.
Okay.
Whoopi skipped this one.
right.
And who's what's his name's sister?
What's his name's sister?
I know.
Michael Jackson's sister, Janet Jackson.
You're being just silly.
All right. Well, we'll get
Back to that.
Have you ever heard of the harp?
Olympia Dukakis was in it as well.
Okay. The arpa jarocha.
So what?
Jarocha or jarocho, anything that comes from Jalisco, Mexico, Guadalajara.
okay.
Well,
All
you know, they actually have a hot sauce that's called, I think it's called salsa jarocha.
Okay.
That's from, I'm sorry, jarocha means from Veracruz. Tapatio means from Guadalajara. So there's something called the arpa jarocha, which is the harp, a Mexican folk harp. Been
Okay.
there forever. There's a group called Tlen Huicani, which is sort of like the master of the. It's a music ensemble that's based around the harp, which is a jumping jaropa beat. It's a music from the region of Veracruz, Mexico.
Okay. And
These
he's a
guys
harp?
They use the Mexican folk harp. It's a typical harp.
So it's a
that
little
you
bit
would see.
different than the
It's
one.
a little
Yeah,
bit different
the
than
one
anyone.
classical. Thinking.
Exactly,
All right, all right.
exactly.
Like the Harpo Marx harp.
Like the Harpo Marx harp, exactly. But they also have good, vocals and instrumental harmonies along with it.
Nice. Where are they playing?
They're at Kupferberg the day after, October 28th. So you have Gilberto Santa Rosa, the multi-Grammy winner, and then the next day you have a big Mexican folkloric music, a kind of electrified folkloric music band.
Nice.
That's kind of fun.
It's a nice double head. I mean,
And then the other thing I would say is Noguchi Museum.
Noguchi.
The Noguchi Museum has they have an exhibit right now. A guy named Jorge Palacios. Now, the Noguchi was a sculptor. The museum always shows things that are they're not necessarily sculptures. They're spatial related. Like they might do things that are spatial. Right now, they had that thing that hung all of those. What do you call the things that go around the lights? The things that go around there's a room that's just full of all these different light covers. Lampshades, but they're all foldable, and you walk in the room and everything it's outrageous. Yeah, I've been there. Oh. But there's a guy named Jorge Palacios, and he has an exhibit right now at Noguchi, and he has a big structure right in front of the Flatiron Building in Manhattan.
Okay.
And so Jorge Palacios and the curator of the Noguchi Museum of that exhibit will be at Noguchi on Sunday, on October 28th. And Palacios will walk around his exhibit and explain it to people. Then they will hop on a chartered bus, and go straight down to the Flatiron Building in Manhattan.
No kidding.
And they'll look at his structure, cool. At his artwork at the.
Get to meet the artists and hang. And
you get to hang out. You get to go.
Yeah, you get to go into Manhattan, which is the only bad part, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, you come back to Queens
you have to leave
quickly.
The borough.
Yeah, you can. What you can do is you can buy all your food in Queens and spend all your money in Queens and eat it on the bus. That's about it. There are other, Queens is full, as we all know. Queens is basically just a conglomeration of different neighborhoods.
When does that circus start?
Let's talk about that next week.
Okay.
But we do, the Hermanos, the Circo Hermanos Vasquez Mexican circus is coming to Citi Field. Right. Mexican circuses are a little bit different than there's like the French one, the Cirque Soleil, which is actually from Montreal. Yeah. The Mexican ones come out of the ranch. They come out of the rural areas where everyone had horses and lived on big haciendas, and so a lot of the original
horse
stuff were horse tricks. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's probably not. There's probably not a clown car.
Okay.
There might be. I don't know.
Any lions?
I doubt there are lions, but you never know. They have jaguars all through Mexico, Chiapas, Mexico.
All right.
But I guess we can
talk
get into
it.
They're about to start. Well, it's worth it. They're about to start a run here in Queens. It's a multi-day run. It's like
2 weeks.
More than that, I think. I think it might be as many as 15 presentations.
They're doing it in the Citi Field parking lot?
And they're doing it in the Citi Field parking lot in a makeshift circus. Yeah,
nice.
So
I like it.
Yeah, and in fact, you'll be going on November 5th.
I will. Yeah. I will. I was nice enough to get a ticket.
Yeah. So I think that's about everything from me. Is there anything I'm missing? What do you Halloween? Oh, what I wanted to say was that there are all kinds of Halloween parades and other things throughout the neighborhood, but we can't really get into them on the show because we already talked too much. It's already too long.
Please.
We're taking up too much of your free time.
Yeah.
So, am I missing anything?
No, I think you should just make sure that everyone checks out www.itsinqueens.com for all the details. And if there anything we missed is definitely going to be there. And anything we spoke about is going to be correct on there.
Oh, okay. What about social media?
What I would do, listen, don't listen to me, but
you're a gambler, man.
I'm
You're
Mr.
Mr. Vegas.
I would hashtag everything I do. It's in Queens.
Hashtag it's in Queens.
One word.
And check out everything. Okay.
No apostrophe.
Okay.
It's in Queens.
All right.
Hashtag.
That sounds about right. Anything else? Should I get a haircut for next week's podcast?
I do like the hair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do.
I'm thinking about getting it all haircut. Oh well.
I'm gonna continue the beard growth.
Okay.
But I'm gonna cut my hair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
So I think you should.
So if that's not enough, tune
in next week. Who knows what happens?
Yeah.
I mean,
please come back next week and join us. Anyway, that's everything now, and thank you for putting up with us.
Yeah.
And I hope to see you in the borough this weekend, and in the weekend this borough.
And the borough.
I shot an elephant in my pajamas.
How it got you?
How did it get in my pajama? Anyway, thank you.